Hello and welcome once again. As we had discussed in the previous module, in this module also, we will continue the discussion of several apply family of functions. We will give you some examples which will demonstrate these family of functions. Also, some row and column functions will be there, like row means, row sums, col means and col sums. These will be there, and some examples based on these functions will also be provided. Also, we will give you some examples regarding sweep function, how it works, what are the syntax of this function, and along with this, replicate function will also be discussed. So, let's see what is there in store in the discussion. In this discussion, let's start with the maply function. Maply is a multivariate version of sapply. It applies the function to the elements of each arguments starting from the first one. Here again, we are considering the same example that had been considered in the previous module. Let's recapitulate it again. Here, we are given the scores of 10 students in English, Bengali and History respectively. So, altogether we have 30 scores to deal with. Now, using maply function, we are here to calculate individual total scores for each of the students. Here, what we are doing is that we are writing this maply, then within first bracket sum. Since we are here to calculate the sum of the numbers of the 3 subjects for each of the 10 individuals, and then we will include the 3 vectors that include the scores of the 3 subjects for each of the individuals. Now, the maply function applies the function sum to the scores corresponding to each of the subjects for each of the individuals, and here is the result, which is indeed the sum of the subject scores for each of the individuals. Here comes another member of these types of function, which is Raply function. This function is a recursive version of Laply. Now let's see how it works. Here L is a list containing A and B. Now if we write Laply, then within first bracket the list and the function mean and store the whole thing in Y, then R will calculate the mean of the 2 elements in the list, that is the mean of A and the mean of B. Similarly, look at this example. Here we are having one additional argument, how. So here the function is Raply, then within first bracket L, that is the list, then log to the base 10, and finally the argument how is equal to list. Actually, here the Raply function transforms every value into log of that value with respect to the base 10, and here we have the output. Now let's discuss about the Taply function. The function is applied to each of the cells which are defined by the categorical variables listed in the argument indices. If the results of applying function to each cell is a single number, then the results are returned in a multi-way array which has as many dimensions as there are components in the argument indices. For example, if the argument indices is equal to a vector of gender and employed, then the result will be a 2 by 2 matrix with rows defined by male, female, and the columns defined by employed and unemployed, that is the 2 categorical variables. Now, if the results are not a single value, then the results are in a list with an dimension attribute, which means that it prints like a list but the user accesses the components by using subscripts like in an array. So let's see how it works. Suppose in X1, 10 data points from uniform distribution is stored and there are two categorical variables y1 and y2, where y1 is basically a replication of the number 1 to 5 twice and y2 is the consecutive replication of 1 and 2 5 times each. Here we need to calculate the mean of x1 with y1 and y2 separately. So here what we do is we are writing x1 is equal to RUnif 10. We are writing y1 is equal to rep of 1:5, 2, and similarly we are assigning the values in y2 in this way. So let's start with making a data frame. It contains 3 columns with the variable x1, y1 and y2 respectively. So here is the data frame which bears the name dat. At first, we are considering the first 2 columns, that is the values of x1 and x2. Now using the mean function, what R is doing is that it takes the means of the variables which corresponds to the same frequency. Like here, since we have 2 numbers corresponding to each frequency, so the means corresponding to these numbers are calculated and here it is displayed. Considering y2, we have 5 numbers corresponding to each of the 2 frequencies. So the means corresponding to each of the 2 sets are calculated and here is the desired results. Here is another kind of grouping function which is sweep function. The sweep function returns an array like the input array. The basic syntax of it is the sweep function, then within first bracket array, comma margin, comma stats, comma function and many more like the one we had given here. Now let's consider the argument one by one. The input array can be any dimensional array. Next, the stats argument is a vector containing the summary statistics of array which are to be swept out. The argument margin specifies which dimensions of array corresponds to the summary statistics in stats. Now if the specified array is a matrix, then margin is equal to 1 refers to the rows and stats has to contain row summary statistics. Margin is equal to 2 refers to the columns and stats that has to contain column summary statistics. The function argument specifies which function is to be used in the sweep operation. Most often, this is either of these 2 operations given here, that is division or subtraction. Now let's consider this example. Here we are creating a dataset with A, where A is a matrix with 5 rows that contains 25 elements drawn from uniform distribution ranges between 2 to 3. So we are writing this command which is matrix, then within the first bracket RUnif 25, 2, 3, which specifies the drawing of 25 samples from uniform distribution ranges between 2 to 3. And then by writing 5, the row numbers are specified. Here our data frame is our desired data frame. So the data frame is printed and it will be like this. Here, with the help of the sweep command, we are writing sweep, then within the first bracket the matrix A, then 2 and then the column names. Here the subtraction operator is used. The idea is to center each of the columns around their mean, that is, subtracting each of the elements of the columns from their respective column means, and all the resulting elements are stored there within matrix B. Here is another similar kind of an example. Here we are dividing each of the elements of matrix A by their column sums. Here in both the examples the margin is equal to 2. That is, these are for the columns. Here we are just using column sums instead of column means, and the operator being used is division instead of subtraction. So these are the differences between the two consecutive examples. So finally, we are having a column-wise proportion kind of thing, and the results are stored in D and they are displayed here. Now let us see what column functions do. These functions help to compute summary statistics over columns of vectors, matrices, arrays and data frames. These functions include column means, column sums and so on. Now it's the turn to define row functions. These functions help to compute summary statistics over rows of vectors, matrices, arrays and data frames. These functions include row means, row sums and so on, which are quite similar to the previous one, that is the column function. Here is an example of column function. In the beginning, we are creating a data frame containing a data matrix with 20 rows, and the 100 elements of it are drawn from uniform distribution that ranges between 1 and 2. The final data frame is stored in a.dataframe, and now it has 5 columns. And the easiest way to get the column mean is by using the call_means function. In a similar way, the row means corresponding to the 20 rows can be obtained using the row means command, and here we have the set of 20 row means. Now let us consider the replicate function. This function is a wrapper for the common use of supply for repeated evaluation of an expression, which usually involves random number generation. The function is indeed very useful. It has two main arguments. Firstly, the number of replications and the function to replicate, and a third optional argument, that is simplify is equal to true, which tries to simplify the result to a vector or matrix. Here is an example considering the simulation of 5 normal distributions, each with 5 observations, using the replicate function. For this, we are using this syntax, which contains the function replicate, then within the first bracket the number of replications, which is 5 here, and the function to replicate, which is rnorm 5. And here is the output corresponding to the R code. Now here is a table that sums up the ideas that we have learned in the last 2 modules. Firstly, the lapply is a list apply which acts on a list or vector and returns a list. Then supply is a simple lapply function, and the function defaults to returning a vector or matrix when possible. Now it's a turn for vapply function. It is sometimes faster than supply, as it allows the return object type to be pre-specified. Then rapply is a recursive apply for nested lists, that is, list within list. Then tapply is a tagged apply function where the tags identify the subsets. And finally, apply is a generic function that applies a function to rows or columns of a matrix. So, in these two modules, several kinds of group functions are discussed vividly. Here, our primary objective was to present these functions in front of you with some of the examples, because examples are something which helps us to learn anything much faster. At the same time, it helps to find the applications of these functions, that is, the cases where these functions can be applied. And from this table, you can have a summarized view of what we have learned in the previous two modules. So, as it had been just discussed, in order to continue the remaining apply family of functions, we will see a number of functions and try to find the functionality of them, that how it works and all. Again, this is a continuation of the modules that are dedicated towards the recapitulation of the lessons that had been discussed in the basic R course. Now, as we had discussed in case of the previous modules, this is also a part of the modules that had been dedicated to discuss functionals in R. Actually, the functions that we are going to discuss here are the functionals which are primarily some higher order functions that takes a function as an input and returns a function as output. Now, in the previous module, we discussed about the Laplace and other functions, and we will come to know from the advanced functional modules that Laplace function is the simplest among other functionals. Similarly, the grouping functions which we will be discussing here is the Maply, Reply and Tapply functions. Again, as we will know from the functional, Maply is such a function which considers multiple inputs. With Laplace function, only one argument to the function varies. The others are fixed. This makes it poorly suited for some problems. So, we know the reasons why we go for the function Maply instead of using the function Laplace. Primarily, in those advanced modules, we will concentrate more on the map function instead of the Maply, since it's equivalent to Maply with simplify is equal to false, which is almost always what we want. So let's concentrate on these basic recapitulation of the grouping functions, and from the modules based on functionals, we will gradually look at these grouping functions from a slightly different point of view. And in the due course, we will see that how the function Maply adds more complication for its little gain. So from this discussion, we come to know several apply family of functions which were not discussed in the previous module. Now, it seems that we are wrapping up this discussion here, but as the discussion tells you that we are not actually stopping this discussion here, we will continue this topic in some other modules which are actually based on functionals in R. In those modules as well, we will take up this discussion of several apply family of functions and the functionalities of these. Basically, in those modules, we will discuss about several higher order functions, and obviously Laplace function is one of them. So let's see what is there in those modules. Till then, we are stopping here.